All right. So I want to point out a couple of things. Let's see if I can get a good picture. Glare. That's kind of good. Down here you have some different symbols. You have a house. You have what looks like a keyboard, a calculator. Then it's telling you your battery strength. And then also the time. My time is a little bit off right now. It says it's 11:50 in the morning. Haven't set that up yet. The house, that's basically your home screen. If you push it, you got several different options. So the LabQuest app, that's primarily what we're going to use. If you go down, there is something. It says periodic table. I don't know if you can see it or not. But click on periodic table. And what should my wondering eyes appear but a periodic table? Okay, and it's really nice because you can press, let's do calcium. So I press calcium, and it's going to give you all sort of different data about calcium. It has the atomic number, atomic weight, the density, melting point, boiling point, all sorts of cool stuff. So you have all this at your fingertips, and then press the X and up at the top to get out of the periodic, out of calcium, and then out of the periodic table. Okay, so a lot of information is right at your fingertips for you. Okay, now you have a couple of screens up here. You have what is basically the meter screen. Then you have a graph. You have a table. You have something that looks like a notebook, and then something to be able to actually take notes. So the first one is the meter screen. And right now there's not really a program running. I don't have anything plugged in, but it has mode, rate, and length. This is talking about the experiment that you're going to do. What type of mode are you going to gather data? At what rate are you going to collect data? And how long are you going to collect data? So if I click on the mode button, it's going to give me the setup of my experiment. So right now, I have time-based, so it's based on time. I'm taking 2 samples every 0.5 seconds, and I'm going to take samples for 10 seconds, so it's going to tell me my samples to be collected is 21, because it's taking your a sample at the end as well. If I click at the arrow up by time-based, I can also do, there's one that will do a lot called events with entry, so I'm going to click on that. And basically that's if I get something set and I want to take that data right then. Okay, so I'm actually telling the LabQuest when I want to take the data. So it's not a continuous stream of data. And so that's what events by entry is. So those are the 2 main types of data collection that we're going to do, just on a timer and then also events with entry. So I'm going to, so up here with the graph, you also have file, and so we can do a new experiment, open an old one, save it, export it, print it once it's connected to a computer, and so forth. And then on sensors, we won't really have to get into it, but once you plug in a sensor, you can change different things about it, but we're really not going to hit that. Next over is the graph button, and so I'm going to hit the graph button. All right, and this is where when you're actually taking data, so you can kind of see the graph, it will actually graph it in real time. So you can actually see it's happening at real time. It has your X and your Y, and you're going to be able to change what the X is, what the Y is, what variables do you want to graph, and I think you just click on it. Yeah, X, Y, you can change what your vertical and your horizontal axes are. There's also analyze. And so one that we're going to be using a lot is statistics. It's going to tell you what your lowest reading, your highest reading, what your average was, all important information. Next we have our table of data. So that's the next tab over. And so as we collect data, it will actually show it also in a table format instead of just only in a graph. Next, we have the little notebook, and this is where we can actually see the lab instructions on here on your screen. Now sometimes I'll change them just a little bit, but for the most part they're going to be the same, and so you can actually see them on the screen. Let's say we're out and about somewhere and you forget your paper, you got it right here for you. And then the final one is where you can actually take notes. You got your little keyboard down here that you can type stuff, all that good stuff. You can also get your keyboard down here, and then also down here, if you press the little calculator, you actually get a calculator screen. And notice there is our famous EE button as well. When you do the EE, like if I do 6.022 EE, it does kind of show up differently. It has an E and a plus sign, but that's okay. It's still EE 23. Or I just 20. All right. So clear that up. So you do have a calculator on here as well. So the experiment we're going to do today, and you just click the calculator again to get rid of it. The experiment we're going to do today is really just to get you familiar with it, and it's basically you are going to be holding the temperature probe in your hand and watch as the temperature increases, and then we'll just see who has the hottest hand in your group, and then who has the hottest class average, and we'll also look who has the hottest hand out of each class period, and finally out of the grade. Okay, so you can, if we go over to the little notebook, go to File, and we can open lab experiments, and it's going to give us a list of folders. Hello? Maybe. Oh, File. Oh, no. File, View Lab Instructions. My bad, I wasn't reading. View Lab Instructions. And so then it has all these. It says additional Vernier labs, advanced biology with Vernier, advanced chemistry with Vernier, biology with Vernier. Vernier is the company that makes these. Okay. And so the two that we're going to be getting out of a lot is, if you scroll down, there's one that's middle school science with Vernier and physical science with Vernier. And those are the two that we're going to be using. This one comes out of middle school science with Vernier, and you can always see it at the bottom of your lab instruction sheet. It has the title there. So click on that. I'm going to hit OK. And then we're doing experiment number 1, which you can see at the top of your paper. Hot hand, OK.